Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the French Tier 8 Premium Medium tank, the AP AMX 30. It's a tank that came out not long ago. This is probably really the follow-up video to the tank review because I've played it quite a few times since that tank review, since the first day release of it, and I still really enjoy it. I still think it's a really solid tank. I like the Alpha at 300, I like the penetration 232 and 262, or 263, one of the two anyway. It's that standard 100mm French gun that is on a lot of the tanks that they have. The durability of the turret armour, bouncing up to about 240, 250 shells on it, is really nice. It's not really got any out armour on the hull, although you can ricochet the odd shot here and there just because of angles, which is a very French thing if you think about the Batchat having absolutely no armour but bouncing shots that it really shouldn't. I said the gun performance can be a little bit annoying at times. It does like to troll you a little bit, but like I said, that Alpha 300 Alpha is really nice, and the reload at 6.6 with the food boost and a little bit slower than that is okay. It's not incredible, but it's not bad, and it's pretty damn nice to use and abuse. Now, if you were to look at the German Kampfpanzer 07RH that recently came out, you might look at that and think that looks incredibly similar to this tank, right? And I do think with the 65 kilometers an hour top speed, they both hit it really easily. You could look at it and think, yeah, it is fairly similar, but there is some big differences, right? The Kampfpanzer 07RH obviously has that massive DPM advantage, or should I say that reload advantage, really, just how fast it reloads. It's absolutely rapid, whereas this tank is obviously a little bit slower, a little bit more measured, and naturally the Kampfpanzer doesn't really have any armour. The turret armour gets absolutely smashed up. The hull armour, you might ricochet the odd shell here and there off the hull armour, but for the most part, all tier 8s, 9s and 10s, and quite a lot of tier 7s will pen it with fair amount of ease. You've just got to use the mobility that it's got to your advantage. And the other thing that it's got over this tank is the ability to have camo, because the gun handling on that tank is definitely far better. This tank you need to run rammer, vert stabs and optics, whereas on the Kampfpanzer you can run rammer, camo net and optics because you don't have to run the vert stabs to make the gun at least nice, whereas this tank, the gun is not that great, so you want to be running vert stabs, right? And yeah, they're both different enough that, or unique enough that they can be a lot of fun to play and different experiences when you play them both. I really enjoy them both, and I do love this tank. I think out of the two, I think this is probably more my kind of tank because I do have that durability in the turret. I do have that ability to bounce things. It's not like the Kampfpanzer where if it gets all in, it's never got a chance of bouncing anything. And I like the Alpha as well because you know I'm an Alpha whore, whereas having 300 Alpha as opposed to 200 Alpha is nice, but that ability to shred people with that Kampfpanzer is definitely fantastic. But I do love this tank as well. I think this tank's been a hell of a lot of fun to play, and I think it's a great tank to pick up if you like your medium tanks that have got decent, well, fantastic mobility and pretty decent guns and stuff like that, and a bit of armour. So in terms of a crew on the AMX 30, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage expertise, Muffled Shot, Steady Aim, Snapshot, and Run and Gun. So I run Muffled Shot and Camouflage expertise because I want to make my camo better in general by 10%, and then I want to make it so that I am less likely to get spotted when I fire through concealment with the Muffled Shot. Now, I don't run silent driving on this like I do on the Kampfpanzer because this doesn't really have the best camo anyway, so I'm more trying to negate the effect of firing on my camo for when I'm behind bushes, as opposed to making it so that I'm a bit more stealthy when I'm on the move and stuff, because the camo is not that great anyway. And then, like I say, in terms of equipment, rammer, vert stabs and optics to make the gun as good as possible, same as why I run all the gun perks. So in this first game, we've managed to get 4.4k damage and 1100 assistance. We lost a fair bit of health for ramming that guy there. And we're up to 5 kills. There's 2 tanks left. There's the Earthshaker and the Artillery. I'm looking at this going, please, don't die yet. I just want my top gun. Please. Oh. And we don't get the top gun. But we do finish with a really nice total in the top tier matchup. We finish with the epic victory. 5 kills, 4.4k damage, 1400 assistance. Ace Tanker, the high caliber. 2,225 base XP. A really great game for the AMX 30. And showed off what you can do with the mobility of the tank, really, with, well, pushing those aggressive positions. And that's why I like it, because I like having that durability to, well, that speed to get to where I want to be, those really aggressive positions to put pressure on the enemy team early on, and then that sort of nice alpha to sort of scare them away a little bit, once you start hitting people constantly, or consistently, sorry, for that 300 in every 7 seconds, it can rack up pretty quickly, which is nice. So we're on the second replay. The second replay, we are on this map, which is Heilbronn. And on Heilbronn, from this spawn, I do like to take up the initial position at F6, F7. Around here, you see in this little ridge in front of us, because you can get up on this little ridge, you can try and spot anyone that crosses the D line and try to go down the 9-0, and you can get some early shots if you time it right. As you can see just there, we end up spotting the CS-59 and the Dragon, we get a nice shot into the CS-59. You do have to be careful with this position though, because if you are spotted and they do have people camping at C9, C0, they can get shots at you here, so you do have to be very careful of it. Naturally, in a tank like this as well, where we've got good turret armour, we can have a good time with it. But we do have to also be careful that if they push to positions like they have there, those little ridges on our right that you can just see in front of us on our right, they can go there and go hull down against you too, and that can lead to some awkward angles that you might face, which it can be annoying. And also they can push up around your side and start flanking shots on you as well, which again can be a little bit frustrating. But as you can see, you know, if people do push across and they do want to get to that flank to push it, you can get some decent damage out and decent shots out of them as they are crossing, as we get 2 nice shots into that 777 version 2. This is a position though that you don't want to stay here for too long, right? Because the longer you stay here, the less use it is, because it is that sort of early game position. It's the position that you'll take to get those early shots out, and once they've crossed, there's not really going to be much else that's going to do it, and then you're just wasting time. So as you can see, Randy's pushed quite aggressively here against No-Ho into this position. I'm like, okay, Randy, I'm coming. I'm going to come and help you. We're low premium because it's No-Ho, and we're not guaranteed to go through it with our standard rounds, but this 65T is trying to put pressure Randy, and this is where it's nice to have a platoon mate right, because Randy was like, yeah, I pushed aggressively here, and the 2 heavy tanks that were going to, well, I thought might help me have gone away. So it's like, yep, I'm coming to help save the day, Randy. I'm going to come help. And, you know, at this point, he's kind of baiting them out. And I'm managing to get shots at them as they try and push him. But he is starting to run away now, because realistically, he's still in a dangerous position. It's only me. If both of them were to just push him and go after him, it wouldn't go well for him. Because naturally, a No-Ho could just derp him for 900, and then the 65T will finish him off. And even then, Randy's only got 2 shots as an autoloader, right? So as a brass skill, 2 rounds of 360 him, but then, yeah, it's game over from that point. He's got nothing left, and they still YOLO him. So he's bugged out, and I'm just going to stay here, because I'm waiting. I'm thinking, is that 65T or Oho going to poke out? And, yep, the Oho finally comes back. He ends up missing his firing AP there. I couldn't quite see if he had the 152 or the 105. But he fired, and it's like, okay, sure. I'm kind of wanting to push forward, but that Ragnarok at the minute is making me think about it, because naturally, you know, he's a 3-shot autoloader that can be quite deadly if he catches you out. But my heavy tank is going forward in front of me, the E75. And with E75 going forward, it's kind of like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that, actually. Now that he's gone there, there's some help and cover. I can go over and help. We're just going to RBRT this Panzer 58 Mutz, and while this tank isn't actually that good at firing on the move, naturally, the power of RBRT compels you to penetrate that Panzer 58 Mutz. We get another shot in, and this guy's actually AFK. And we put his AFK misery out of play. We end up spotting another Mutz there in the town, okay. But again, we could go hull down here, but we end up spotting the Ragnarok. We instantly went for the tracking shot on that Ragnarok, whether it penned or not, because maybe we'd track him up out in the open for people to shoot. But he does instantly repair it. Just looking for those shots onto the Mutz. We switch back to standard rounds, because we don't really need the premium unless we're shooting at the Oho. And I was kind of concerned that I only had 12 rounds left, and I didn't want to waste all my premium rounds with some of the heavily armoured tanks that are in this game, like the Oho, like the T95 that's just been spotted over there. I do want those premium rounds so I can actually pen those things. And even so, now I'm hull down on this ridge, there's more likely chance that I can actually get side shots at this Oho, which I don't need the premium rounds for, like you've just seen. And we get a nice shot into the side of him, which damages his ammo rack. I think Randy just got a shot into him. We're just looking for another shot into his side, and yeah, he didn't angle up. And he was actually firing AP from the derp gun. Whew! That would have been painful if it penned, but naturally, that tank isn't really going to pen anything with its derp gun, because I'm pretty sure the AP round on the Oho is 64 pen or something like that, or is it 100 pen? It might be something along those lines. And in fact, it's actually 121, just having a look. Which means, yeah, well, actually, he probably could have penned me if I was on flat. But because I wasn't on the flat, I was on the, I was on the ridgeline. I was kind of hull down. It meant that my armour was good enough to tank the shot, which we'll take. But that could have been quite painful and deadly and game-ending all at the same time, and that would have been a very sad time for me. So now there's only 3 tanks left. There's a medium tank and 2 TDs. Like I said, we know there's a T95 up here at B7. And the other 2, well, as you've just seen, the Randina's brass shutdowns, the 5100. There's still the other TD, which is a ball sig. That's possibly painful. We get a nice shot into the ball sig side. I could load HE, but I don't really want to, just because of the other TD. He ends up getting set on fire, the ball sig, and he gets a shot through our turret just as he goes down, which means I can't take a hit from this T95. So what we do is we end up tracking the T95. He instantly repairs, right? Which means that if I track this guy again, he is going to be stuck. So we're now where the T95 does not want us to be, right behind him. We end up tracking him in place, which we know he's just burnt his repair kit, so he's not going to be able to get that track back on. Someone else retracks him. We go for the little ram just to knock his HP down. And it's like, this time we get it. Top Gun! Thank you very much. We finished with 5.4k damage. The Top Gun, 834 damage. The Victory, nearly 2.4k base XP. Ace Tanker, High Caliber, the Top Gun, like I say. And yeah, really nice game for the AMX 30 in a tier 9 game. And it is a really, really solid tank. It's a hell of a lot of fun to play. Like I said, the mobility is great. The little bit of durability on the turret armor is nice. And that gun out, the penetration in the alpha is pretty good as well. It's just a generally all-round packaged, nice little medium tank to pick and to play. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!